Ciaccona has made her debut. She's the first limited Aero support, and also the first who can directly apply Aero Erosion. So, is she any good with the current roster as of patch 2.3? Let's break down her kit, talk about build options, and then do a deep dive on her various playstyles, team comps she can fit in, and then finally, see where she stands in the current meta. Ciaccona is very similar in kit to Jiyan, having a Forte gauge of 3 segments that allows for a large burst attack. Gain Forte in 2 different ways. 1 by using her intro, and 2 by using her basic attack stage 4. However, there's a lot to unpack with how her basic attack works. Let's start out by talking about her basic attack shortcuts. When using her skill, she starts at basic 2. With her intro, basic 3. And with her mid-air combo, basic 4. On top of this, when cancelling her basic 4 in any way, be it with her skill, dodge, or jump, a soap is left behind to finish the animation. Because of this, her most efficient repeatable combo is her mid-air combo, as you can instantly jump cancel the basic 4 that follows to repeat it. Though, it's always worth it to do the basic 3-4 combo that follows your intro. Now, there is one final combo that you might have seen other guides discuss, and that's the basic attack 3-4 dodge combo. Ciaccona has a mechanic where dodge cancelling any of her first 3 basic attacks will keep you on the same stage. However, on the beta server, there was a bug that allowed you to jump back to basic 3 even when dodging during basic 4, allowing you to constantly spam 3-4 dodge. This was mostly fixed on the live version. It's still possible to hit this dodge cancel, but there is only a single frame to do it, as opposed to the entire basic 4 animation. As such, this combo is highly impractical for minimal gain, and will not be considered for the rest of this guide. For the same reason, we also want to talk about the woodpecker looking out keyboard destroying aim shot spam, which is similar to that of other pistol resonators, except Carlotta, as she doesn't fit the requirements. We talked a lot about her basic attacks, but there's a bit more that they do. Her basic 4 applies a stack of Aero Erosion, and the self-created from it performs a solo concert, which buffs the Aero damage of all members in the party with infinite uptime. Her Forte creates a suction that pulls enemies together, doing decent damage. This can be dodge cancelled as soon as the effect appears, and also cast in mid-air, meaning you can fluidly jump cancel a basic 4, Forte, and dodge cancel it. Ciaccona's Liberation places her into a recital state, where she will continuously pulse out either Spectral Frazzle or Aero Erosion, defaulting to Aero Erosion if nothing is selected. That is to say that you can swap out immediately if you want Aero Erosion, but you'll have to wait for the first pulse to select Spectral Frazzle. You don't need to push the buttons otherwise, unless you bricked your rotation and are missing Concerto. Each button press will grant 10. Swapping back to her after she starts her recital will instantly cancel it, but she will continue to cast whichever debuff you left her casting. This also triggers the solo concert buff. Finally, her outro amplifies Aero Erosion by 100%. For reference, with her signature weapon and Aero Rover in the party, Aero Erosion will be dealing just over 18k ticks, or 6k DPS. next section, we'll talk about how to build her optimally. Let's start out by looking at weapon comparisons. Because her weapon provides Aero resistance shred, we'll compare the team DPS as opposed to personal DPS to accurately evaluate its value, using a team with Jiyan as the main DPS and Ciaccona as sub DPS. In this team, her signature weapon provides the most value by far, while all of the other weapons do not have too much of an impact on the total team DPS. Static Mist is slightly preferable over Carlotta's signature weapon in this team as well. What about her sequences? Her S1 is mostly for the anti-interrupt utility, but the first major sequence is her S2, which gives a large amount of party-wide aero damage. Her S3 shortens her rotation for the benefit of team DPS, and her S4 and 6 are decent damage sequences. Overall, the value of her sequences as a support are a bit lackluster when compared to a character like Phoebe, whose sequences have almost double the value when supporting Zani. But this makes sense as Ciaccona's buffs are more generic, and a large portion of Phoebe's sequence value only benefits Zani. Next, let's look at echoes. For her echo set, Gusps of Vulcan is by far the best choice, giving her a similar amount of aero damage as Sierra Gale would, while also giving some to the team. For this reason, it's a huge notch over in the clouds. Double Aero is the preferred Mainstat set, though Aero and attack is not far behind. For substats, crit has the highest value. Attack and flat attack are next. Because her damage split is extremely mixed, all damage bonuses have very low value. But if anything, liberation damage is worth a little bit. Let's talk about skill leveling order. For standard usage, liberation should be prioritized, followed by basic attack, forte, intro, and then skill. If playing her as a main DPS, move basic attack and forte as priorities over liberation in that order. There's a lot to talk about with team voting, as Ciaccona has many different ways she can be played. Let's cover them in the next section. We'll start out with the most standard usage for Ciaccona, as an Aero support. We'll pair her with Jiyan and Mortefi, with Mort on Empyrean Anthem or When the Clouds, and Ciaccona on Gusts of Vulcan. You'll need 11.7% ER on Jiyan and 20% on Ciaccona. Let's look at the rotation. Start out on Ciaccona, using her Echo and mid-air combo, cancelling the basic 4 with her skill and swapping to Jiyan. Use his skill and Echo, swapping to Mort for a quick basic attack. Switch to Ciaccona for a quick mid-air combo, and then go to Mort upon hitting the ground for a basic attack, liberation, and skill. Swap back to Ciaccona and do another mid-air combo. Then swap to Mort for another basic attack and forte. Switch to Ciaccona, forte, and liberation, then outro to Mort, and then to Jiyan. Use your liberation, and then cancel the first Qinlong with your skill. Then continuously dodge cancel the first Qinlong until your ult runs out. And finish off by tapping your skill and outroing to Ciaccona. The rotation repeats from here. Let's watch it in full speed. Next, let's look at a team using her as a Spectral Frazzle support alongside Phoebe main DPS. In this team, she needs 24.8% total energy regen, and we run her on Windland Clouds for more generic buffing. Let's look at the rotation. Start out with Shorekeeper's Liberation and basic 1-2-3, and swap to Ciaccona. Do her mid-air combo and cancel it with Heron, swapping back to Shorekeeper. Finish her concerto rotation with a basic attack, Forte, skill, 1-2-3 dodge, and finally, one more basic attack and Forte, using her echo as late as possible. Ultra to Ciaccona, do her basic 3-4, and jump cancel it. Use her Forte and Liberation, and select Spectral Frazzle before outroing back to Phoebe. Use her echo, then use her heavy attack Forte to activate Absolution, instantly cancelling it with her Liberation. Now, dodge cancel her skill. From here on out, we just do 4 sequences of her basic 1-2-3 heavy, dodge cancelling the basic attack as soon as the heavy attack lights up. Depending on your execution, you may be ahead on rotation time, and can fill it with more Phoebe basic attacks if needed, before outroing the Shorekeeper and repeating the rotation. Compared to the original Phoebe main DPS with S Rover, this rotation is extremely lax. It on-fields the entire Phoebe combo due to not having anything productive to swap to, and is also so fast that there's plenty of leeway to maintain a decent performance. However, the main charm of this team is that Ciaccona's Frazzle pulsing effect works wonders in multi-wave content such as Whimpering Wastes, allowing you to play Phoebe main DPS much more comfortably there. Speaking of Frazzle teams, let's now look at the Zani Phoebe team, adding Ciaccona as a support. In this team, we use Rejuvenating Glow on Ciaccona, with Cruise Wing as the main echo. Ciaccona needs a massive 93.2% energy regen in this team, as she will only be AFK Liberation botting. Time to steal Shorekeeper's echoes. Let's look at the rotation. Start out with Phoebe's skill, dodge cancelling it. Do a 3-part basic attack combo, dodging while buffering the Utter Confession cast by holding skill. Instantly cancel it with her Liberation, and then do another basic attack combo, switching out to Zani for a quick skill and basic attack. Switch to Ciaccona, use her Echo and Liberation, selecting Spectral Frazzle before switching back to Phoebe. Spam her basic attacks, weaving in a Heron dodge cancel until hitting full concerto, and then outro to Zani. Use her skill, cancelling it with her Liberation as soon as you receive the buff. Do a fast Nightfall combo by dodge cancelling the start of Nightfall, and swap out to Phoebe using her heavy attack. Swap back to Zani for another fast Nightfall combo, and then switch to Phoebe for a 1-2-3 heavy. Swap back to Zani and do one last fast Nightfall combo, followed by a full Nightfall combo before using her Liberation and outroing to Ciaccona. This rotation is flexible and is skill issue friendly in a similar sense as Jinchi, as taking longer on the rotation grants you more Forte to work with from Ciaccona's Liberation, allowing you to be flexible with the Zani combos that you can do. At the minimum, you can always get 2 fast Nightfalls, 1 skill hold Nightfall, and 1 full Nightfall combo. Due to the dodging that I had to do in this example rotation, I changed the skill hold Nightfall into a fast Nightfall combo. Let's see it in full speed. let's look at the main DPS Ciaccona rotation using Aero Rover and Senhua as supports. Senhua works decently here due to the large amount of basic attacks we'll be doing on Ciaccona. Aero Rover will be holding Rejuvenating Glow, and Senhua will be using Moonlit. Because Ciaccona's rotation is massively extended here, we don't need any energy regen on her. Let's look at the rotation. Start out on Ciaccona and use her Echo and Mid-Air combo, and then Liberation. Switch to Rover and use your skill and Mid-Air follow-ups, Plunge, Basic Attack, and swap to Senhua. Use her skill in Liberation and then detonate before swapping back to Aero Rover. Do another skill and Mid-Air combo, then Liberation and use your enhanced skill before swapping out to Senhua, tapping Heron and swapping out to Ciaccona. Do your basic 3-4, jump cancelling it, and then using Forte and dodge cancelling that. Next, continue spamming her Mid-Air combo for 2 more Fortes, though you may have to dodge at times. If you dodge on the floor, stay grounded until basic 4 starts before resuming the jump combos. Because of the amount of Mid-Air combos used here, stamina may get spotty, so I have a hard time recommending this team for practical purposes. But it's definitely usable, and you could definitely use other combos for consistency. In the next section, we'll see how all of these teams compare to each other. Disclaimer! Theory crafting numbers should be taken with a grain of salt, because it's just that, theory. Because all teams are evaluated at their theoretical maximum, these numbers do not account for difficulty, and some teams might be easier than others in practice in getting closer to the maximum DPS. It's not perfect, but gives us a good idea of where things stand. Between Ciaccona's various teams, the strongest one is the one with Zani and Phoebe, where she's doing nothing but pressing Cruise Wing and her Liberation. Though that's more of a testament to the strength of Zani Phoebe in the first place. Their other potential teammates, Shorekeeper and Spectre Rover, outperform Ciaccona. Ciaccona is a very noteworthy substitute to Shorekeeper in the Jiyan Mortefi team, however, offering roughly the same DPS potential. When replacing Mortefi, the Jiyan Ciaccona Shorekeeper team falls behind slightly, but still offers decent damage. The Aero Rover teams are a notch lower, but have some potential to grow when we unlock the rest of Aero Rover sequences and weapon ranks. As of right now, Ciaccona doesn't push the boundaries of any team higher than what they would be with alternatives. However, with Cartesia being announced as Aero, it's likely that Ciaccona's best team has yet to arrive. And that concludes this deep dive. Ciaccona is definitely an interesting take on a new character, as there's so many ways you can play her to relative success. For more information on the calculations or testing process, feel free to check the DPS calculator. Links to all of the votes for my work process can be found in the description as well. Thank you to all of my channel members and Ko-fi supporters. You guys help me keep doing what I love doing. See you guys next time. Bye bye! What if the weapon remains an Auron forever? Then we kill Aero Rover. And nobody would complain.